Hello, Abraham. I knew that you would call me today.
Now we're done.
I'm seeking your advice and your guidance. I'm new to this process. My wife left me 6 weeks ago, and a couple of weeks after that, a friend introduced me to The Secret, and that was a good introduction. But then I went deeper with your work and Esther's and Jerry's. And my question is this. I love my wife, and I was critical and negative, and...
So in the same way that our friend just now, we talked about how people sometimes seek sleep for relief. They're seeking alignment. Some people seek alignment in separation.
Yes.
Because it's easier sometimes to get away from what you believe is the source of your negative emotion.
Yes, and I have determined and discovered that getting into the vortex is probably the best way for me to get away from negativity and possessiveness, and I'm trying to do that. But my question is, I'm looking for some hope, and occasionally when I'm in the vortex, I can see it, but the what isness gets to me. I stayed away. My wife left without talking to my daughters or to me about any substantive issues. She just left for a month. She was completely silent, would not respond.
Well, she just sort of reached a breaking point, didn't she? In other words, without being able to even put it into words, her desire to feel good was so strong and so compromised that it almost felt to her like a self-survival thing. For someone to do something so dramatic like that, it was really a self-survival sort of thing, seeking alignment. And so as you relax a little bit and try to give her the benefit of the doubt, you soften the resistance. As you blame her, which is what you're doing here, in other words, you're sort of poking at it, and we certainly understand why you would, about how she left the kids, she stayed hidden away, she didn't let anybody know where she was, she drove us all crazy, she put us all through hell. In other words, those kinds of things, even though they're accurate, don't help your cause, because your cause is you're wanting to desensitize it, you're wanting to de-specify it, you're wanting to make it less specific and therefore less out of the vortex, not more. So the more you stand in justification, the more you hold yourself in a place where you can't get what you want. Even though everything you say is true, you still can't beat those vibrational odds, you see. You've got to soften your vibration. So part of your question is, I was far less critical at the early part of our relationship.
Yes.
As the relationship developed, I got more and more obsessively critical. And now I feel much less critical. The whole experience has put me in a whole new place of wanting, and I would like a sort of do-over. I would like to be able to present myself in my new vibrational form. And we say, we fully expect that to happen. But if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would practice it until it was real, not just wanted.
Yes.
We would practice it until we don't feel critical, until we don't feel justifying. In other words, as long as you're defending or justifying or blaming, you're not in the vortex consistently. You gotta give all that up. Jerry and Esther have had really a Mr. Toad's Wild Ride with the launch of this new meditation CD, because they got all geared up. They let everyone know about it, and everyone hit the bookstores at once, and the bookstores were not anywhere near prepared for what Jerry and Esther thought was a pretty normal response to what they usually do. So they felt incredible frustration that their publisher was not prepared and had not prepared the bookstores. And then as they focused upon that, there was no way they could find a good feeling in that. Then the product turned out to be flawed, some of them. And so the CDs weren't playing, some of them. And then Amazon put them They were number 1, they were number 2, number 3, number 6, number 4, number 10, number 3, number 2, between George Bush and Wimpy Kid. For days and days and days and days and days and days and days, coming up to the launch. The day the book launched, it sold out everywhere. And then for the next 2 weeks, Amazon said, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. And Jerry and Esther are feeling very disappointed, and then very defensive, and then somebody should call somebody, and then they did. In other words, somebody should, there was no point in railing against it because there was nothing that could be done. The books were sold out. And then their publisher said, well, one thing is certain, you are assured the number 1 spot on the New York Times because so much happened so fast. And then the New York Times didn't put them on the list at all. Even though they outsold every book on the list in their category, double what most of them were, the New York Times decided that it is not really a book. And Esther said, just kill me now. And then she remembered something really important. This book was not written for the New York Times. This book was not written for the mark on the chart. In other words, her discomfort was severe because the desire had been there. But what it did was, and that's what's happening to you and to your mate, it caused a reorienting, a re-evaluating of what I'm about, a redefining of who we are, a remembering of what this is all about. And then the ease began to wash over, because the entire time that they were focused upon what can we do, how can we fix this, what went wrong, who should tell who what. In other words, in every moment of accurate blame pointing, in every moment of it, they were sacrificing, as we were saying to our friend, far more for one little book launch. Who cares about a book launch? This book will be on the bookshelves forever, you see. Who cares about a book launch? Who cares about a temporary separation from someone you love? Who cares? When the benefit of it, the benefit of all of this, Esther said, the universe is always working things out for me. And we say to you, the universe is always working things out for you. You're not being punished by this experience. You're being clarified by it. You're being emphasized by it. You're coming into clear perspective of who you are by it. This experience will serve you for the rest of your life. The desire that is born and the alignment that you will discover, it will be worth so much more. And there will come a time, not so far from now, that you will say to this person, I so appreciate your action and what it set forth within me.
I've already begun to appreciate.
And
yes.
then don't try to micromanage the path of unfolding to get what you want. Trust the universe to do this. You have one job. Esther has one job. You have one job, one job, one job, one job, one job. Get in the vortex, get in the vortex, get in the vortex, get in the vortex, which means you have to find a way of ignoring all of those irrelevant, and we mean it, every single thing that holds you out of the vortex is now irrelevant because it's done its work, and what's relevant is in the vortex. You see what we're getting at?
Yes.
So you got a choice. You can poke around in the specifics and hold yourself away from the solution, or you can let it go. You can say, I'm going to go general. I'm going to go general. Things are working out. I don't know how. I didn't want this to happen, but I'm sort of glad it did. I feel that good things are coming to me as a result of it. I don't know how this is going to unfold, but I know it'll be all right. I believe that the universe is working things out for me. And it is our promise to you that it is.